Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you another video. Alright, so because another video is uploading where I sat here for a whole hour and talked about my problems, I don't have enough time to give to this particular video that I would love to give to it, but I want to congratulate Jeanie and Mahr on their marriage. They just got married very recently, maybe within the last couple of days, I believe it was. And, we got a lot of love. Of course, it's a Laker channel to its core. Obviously, I've been doing a lot more talking about myself lately because I kind of do have two different purposes for the channel, and I don't separate it just because that's how I do things. But nevertheless, this is a Laker channel, and we got a lot of love for the Bus family. We got a lot of love for the Laker brand organization. Of course, our players as well, our fans. I got a lot of love for us, and it's something I wanted to kind of speak on a little bit because if you guys follow me close enough, I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in God and Christ and all that good stuff. And Jeanie is somebody who's been on my prayer list as of late. And if you guys know of me, then I've had a prayer list that I think, basically I put together when I was going through a really weak time in my life about 3 years ago. I started praying for different people and slowly started adding to the list. And I would add friends, family, and then from there, people that I follow online, and then it just expanded to the celebrities and all different types of stuff. Now the list is like, I haven't counted, probably over 200 names. And Jeanie happens to be one of them. And she's been on that list for a long time now. It's since, probably over a year and a half. I've been praying for her daily, or, I don't say that I say the names every day, but, I ask the Lord to bless the list and the bereaved as I pray. And so that's how I encompass the entire body of that list every day in my prayer. So for me, it's like, as I see these prayers being answered in various different ways, or I see the Lord's grace in people's lives, for me, it's just something that I take a great deal of happiness in seeing. And with Jeanie, I'm very happy to see her married and in a space where she's, where she wants to be. And not to say that I've ever met the lady or, know of her spirit or know if she would root for me. I don't, who knows? But the point is who I am, and this is what I'm about. And so I think it's not only the conversation of congratulations, but it's also the acknowledgement of something that I saw last night that is relevant as well. I went down the rabbit hole of finding out more about Mahr just because I remember him from back in the day when I was a kid, seeing him on various different stuff, comedian, and so I just figured, maybe I'd look up and see if there's an interview of him talking about the engagement, just, I don't know, just, it was 3 a.m. I was feeling a little depressed about myself. So that's just what I chose to look up, and in doing so, I came across something that was kind of inspiring in regards to him. It was a random interview that he did with some guys I'd never heard of. Wish I remembered their name right now. Unfortunately, I can't give them their credit in that way, but essentially what he was talking about was how he had went through addiction, a very serious addiction. He joked about it, saying that Jeanie had been with him for 5 years, but he's only been with her for 2 because the first 3 years he was so caught up into the addiction. And, for me, it's like, with my circumstances, I have mental health concerns. I'm trying to stay away from medication. I don't like medication. Only medication I even want to touch is weed. I don't even like alcohol. Hell, I don't even like coffee. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those type of people, but I have been smoking weed pretty much almost my whole life. And to a point, I understand how it's been addictive for me as well, and to food and things like that. So I feel I have an addictive personality in general. And I just think about the perseverance it must be to stay with somebody like that. And the faith that you have to have in them being better. If you're Jeanie she had obviously she has a lot to consider with her family trust, right? You know what I mean? And nevertheless, she followed her heart. And through the process of him struggling with that addiction, he was able to overcome it while with her, and she never left his side. And I just thought that was a very powerful thing and a very wonderful thing to consider. And it displayed, yet again, her character. And I just feel more confident that back in the purple and gold is yet another good decision for me based on my morals and who I believe I want to become. It ain't just a basketball team. It's a lot of things that come along with supporting the team that start with Jeanie and the people that she hires. Now, granted, when I'm critical of them, I've been pretty critical of them at times. Some of the stuff they've done I didn't think was all that great. But Jeanie has shown me in several occasions different things that show me that she's one of those folks who are really, really good at heart and has a great deal of faith in the Lord above. And I know that the Lakers wear white in solidarity on Sundays with the understanding of Christian principles. I understand this. I don't know if most people realize that, but the Lakers wear white because we believe in Christ in LA with the Lakers. Even though we have love for everybody, you can tell that Jeanie Buss is someone who respects the Sabbath, and so did her father and their family. So that's another reason why I felt comfortable, even though I pray for people that don't pray like that. I felt very comfortable putting her on the list, knowing that, you know, the same God I pray to is the Lord they serve as well. And it doesn't mean we get it right all the time. Heck, they got some bad Christians out there, but just the same, it's like, you know, I know we share faith. I know that, and so it's one of those situations where it's like, you know, she's showing us that again, that she has a strength and inner strength about her that needs to be appreciated outside of basketball. And so, you know, that's what I wanted to say, man. I don't know if she would ever see this video or anything like that, but true congratulations on your marriage, and I want your marriage to be fruitful. And I just think that, you know, when I consider what it is I hope to find is someone who would be able to put up with me in whatever circumstances I struggle with my mental health. As I struggle, you want to find a love like Jay found. You know what I mean? You want to find a love like Jay found, to where even throughout your flaws, extended periods of you being flawed, that person's still right next to you. That person's still with you. Even when you know they got options. Jeanie Buss can get any dude in the world. You know that. But yet she stuck with the man that she loved, and through the difficulties of his addiction, her sticking with him ultimately, it seems to me, helped him through that. An addiction that he claims he don't have no more. He don't have those issues, and it was a severe addiction from what he described. So it's like, congratulations to J.O. for overcoming that, man. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody's gonna ever say anything like that, but damn it, man, that is inspiring, bro. Don't think that that's a minor thing that you shared with the world, man, because there's a lot of people who need to know that in a severe addiction like that can be overcome, even if you have it for 3 years and your money is long so you can keep buying it over and over again and never ends. Those are the ones who need to know that you can stop, bro. You can stop. And so that energy that I received from him sharing that story wasn't minor to me. I took that with me. It's like, yo, I think Jeanie is a great lady for sticking with a guy who had an addiction like that, and I think he showed a great deal of strength overcoming that addiction, and also being able to lean on her throughout. You know what I mean? And so I think it's a very, very strong story, man. And I wanted to just send good energy to them on their engagement and understanding that you know, they're inspiring some people when they share that story. They're inspiring some people when they stick together, you know. And so that's what I wanted to say. I think all in all, you know, I'm gonna continue to pray for them, of course. And I know that addiction is not something that ever really goes away. It takes continuing to work at it. It's very easy to relapse into it. But just like I tell people about any type of wagon, wagons have steps. So if you fall off of that wagon, the only real sin is not realizing that you can get back on it. You know what I mean? It's quitting. And so that's what I want to say is it's okay to not always be as strong as you need to be. Sometimes we run into hard roadblocks in life that are going to send us spiraling back into the same circumstances we were in. But that you were able to get out of them the first time, I believe you can overcome them again. And so that's what I'm here to say. Not to say that I expect that anything like that would be in their lives, but just in general, if you happen to be an addict of any kind, maybe you got an addiction for something that ain't what he had, but whatever it is, man, if you fall off that wagon, you can get back on it. If you're on the wagon and if you've never gotten on a wagon, if you've never approached overcoming your addiction, you can, and you can succeed in that, I believe. And it may take a little more strength than you know you have in yourself. But just like I always tell people, I believe in a God that will help you through difficult circumstances. And maybe you saw my video from this morning. You saw I wasn't handling my circumstances very well. You can too be a believer and still struggle with those things, but that, you know, that it's possible to overcome is a thing, because there are people out there like Mahr who overcame those addictions, who found real love, who wasn't left at the altar because of their addiction. There is paths to happiness, man. And so that's what I want to say, man. I don't care if you're $1 billion up, $10 billion up, or in a place like myself where you're living out of a hotel. At the end of the day, God is real, and for the specifics of your circumstance, he can provide you the things that are ultimately going to make your life fulfilling. You just got to keep alive long enough to see it through, man. And so that's what I wanted to say, all of you guys. Obviously, this is more than congratulations. It's more so thank you for inspiring myself to keep going type of conversation. But, you know what I mean? It's just it's a beautiful thing. I know that, like I said, Jeannie's very wealthy, you know, and that's another thing that speaks to the positivity of just how I view her character. I don't know how rich Jay is, but I can be certain that he's not up there with her. So the risk to stay with someone who has an addiction, the risk to possibly get with somebody who's further away from you in regards to your status could be a lot for a person who has as much as she does. But I'm rooting for her. The fact that Jay was able to overcome that addiction makes me feel good about him and her life, and that's what I have to say about that. I want them to be fruitful and happy, you know what I mean? And I don't think that my difference in class makes it so that I wish for anything better than things to continue to improve upon their lives. And I think that's possible. We live in a world where a broke person shouldn't be praying for a rich person, or a broke person shouldn't be praying for a wealthy person, or shouldn't be rooting for things to get better for a wealthy person. But I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that at all. At all. I just think I see human beings. I watched Kanye lose $8 billion in one day. You know, somebody else can be given $8 billion in one day. I'm watching a whole hedge fund conglomerate steal trillions of dollars from the whole world. You know what I'm saying? So money can be transferred in seconds, bro. It's not about how much money you have or how much money you've held. It's about your substance as a person with what it is that you've been given in life, and how much time you actually have, for which no matter how much money you have cannot be replenished. So take care of your bodies, overcome your addictions, eat well, exercise, stretch, deal with your mental health, get things that are in your heart out, get whatever's in there out, do what you need to do to feel good about yourself, and be able to welcome the right things with your actions and activities. Give somebody a favor, pay forward a blessing, whatever it takes to make you look in the mirror and feel good about who it is you see. Keep that up. I don't care if you're rich, I don't care if you're poor, I don't care if you're somewhere in between and whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you ain't got a lot of time left. Maybe you don't have, you know, maybe they told you some bad news about your health and now you know what it is. Whatever the case may be, you can inspire with what it is that you can do. You know what I mean? From what it is that you're praying. Even if you're not able to move, your prayers move mountains. I promise you this. I promise you this. Your prayers move mountains. Even if you're in a space where you cannot do what all, I would ask that you be able to keep going with it. Maybe you don't have any, but your prayers can move mountains. And I believe if you pray for others and do for others, you appeal to the God I believe in. And in doing so, you get the opposite of his wrath. You get his grace. You get his blessings. You get that real love that comes into your life that won't go away, even though you're not where you need to be. You get that love that won't go away, even though maybe you just need to do some things differently. They too will stay put, just like the Lord will. If that person comes from God, they'll be in your life forever. So that's what I gotta say, man. Congratulations to the Mahr Bus family. Much love to you guys. From a real Laker fan, BDF 44.